A recent Australian study on teenagers aged between 10 and 19 has shown that 50% of them have neck pain, which is more than in the adult working population. And next to that, other studies found that a third of them have back pain and 30% have shoulder pain, which is comparable in many ways to the adult working population. This is super worrying because basically these kids have not even started their professional life. So what will it be when they're in their professional life? In this video, I therefore would like to explain from a biomechanical perspective why mobile screens and in particular smartphones are not good for our children. I'd like to give you some, say, indicative values for how long you can use them depending on their age. And I'd like to share with you a number of good practices to make sure that you don't, say, create a problem for them. Screens, and in particular mobile screens, have effects on the physical health of our children as well as on their psychological health. My job is physical health and biomechanics in particular, so I will stick to this area, and I'd like to refer you to this excellent book for the part on the psychological health. There are different reasons why mobile phones have an impact on our physical health. Well, the first reason is that, the more you use your mobile phone, the less you do something else, and therefore you spend longer times in static postures. And static posture for office workers is as bad as it is for children. These static postures, especially sitting, means slouch posture, which put a lot of strain on your lower back and in particular on your discs. But you see also that as soon as you slouch, whether you slouch vertically or whether you slouch backwards, your head and shoulders move forward, which is a source of strain in the upper limb. So per se, this is already a double loss. Is not only you don't work on your physical condition, but also you strain your body more than you should. Then we can discuss locally the issue for the neck and shoulders. Look, the basic rule, what I call rule number 2 of posture, is that your neck will never cause pain if it's too relaxed. And neck pain can be due to what you do with your hands or what you do with your eyes. Your hands would like to comfortably be at elbow level. Your eyes would like to look at something around there. And you see that this is not the size of a mobile phone. So when you use a mobile phone, either you put it at the ideal height for your hands and you bend your neck very much, or you put it at the ideal height for your eyes and then you have sustained strain in your shoulders. There's no in between. The only solution would be to have a phone support or something, but definitely we're talking here about a mobile phone. And a support is not mobile, so you don't have it in the public transport, you don't have it at work, you don't have it you only have it maybe in your living room, and actually you have it maybe in front of the dining table, but not even on the couch. Let's focus on this neck forward issue. You see, for the neck posterior muscles, when your neck is forward like this, it's basically the same for them as if you would come back from the shopping holding your shopping bags like this. You have a lot of weight at an important distance from the attachment of the muscles. This is extremely bad in adults, but it is even worse in children because the head of children is in proportion with their body and with their muscle strength much heavier than ours is, probably till the age of 12, 14, 15, something like this. So again, this is a double loss. Not only do you have a weak neck, but you impose more weight on your weak neck. So clearly statistics are no surprise. There are tons of things that we could do on improving the ergonomics around the screens, but as far as smartphones are concerned, honestly, there is no great solution. So basically the idea is to say, well, smartphone is the most dangerous thing there is. Then you have the tablet, especially when you have a stand, then the laptop, then the desktop, then the TV. The reason for that is that on the smartphone, your eyes and hands are on the same place. On the tablet and the laptop, well, they are slightly distant. On the desktop, you can adjust the distance between your hands and your eyes, or at least their targets. And on the TV, there's no hand involvement anymore. This is the reason of the progression. in the posture manual, which is the book that I've published in French and very soon in English, I have proposed some maximum exposure values for screen depending on the age of the children. The first step is to calculate how many, say, equivalent hours you spent on mobile screens. So you take the numbers of hours on your smartphone and your tablet without a keyboard. You multiply this by 6. Then you add to that the number of hours on your laptop or on your tablet with the keyboard multiplied by 3. To that, you add the number of hours on the desktop, and my recommendation, especially for the psychological exposure to children, is to also add the number of hours in front of TV, also multiplied by 1. And the maximum values are on this curve. Now, let's be clear before I under attack for that. This is cowboy science. It's based on a mix of recommendations, and basically it is stricter than what WHO suggests. But come on, isn't it your goal to actually protect your children? So it shouldn't be a problem that I'm a bit too strict. I'm on the safe side, and I'm perfectly fine with saying this in front of a camera. This is cowboy science, but I do believe that it will actually protect your child more than governmental recommendations, because there's no lobbying behind. Now, the last question is, how do we implement that at home? You know, a number of parents who come to me are parents of teenagers, and for them, my message is unfortunately, well, good luck, my friends, because it's kind of late, you know. I'm not saying it's too late, but I'm saying it's much more complex. So really, here I would like to speak more about prevention than cure, because when we talk about, cure, resolving a problem, we need a much more individual approach. So in terms of prevention, I think there are 4 things that we need to do. Thing number 1 is we need to set roles and expectations. To give you an example, we have decided with my wife before the birth of the child, what the place of the screens should be, and that was based on a common agreement that we believe that mobile screens are not a good thing for our children. Rule number 2 is exemplarity. If you spend a lot of time on your mobile phone, well, you cannot expect your child to not do the same. Rule number 3 is based on the fact that, children are attention seekers. And what we see on a day-to-day basis is that, they always look for your attention. And if they see that something takes your attention from them to it, that means that this something must be super important, and therefore the child is drawn to it. No, it's something which is more important than him or her. So even if you take a picture of your child, well, don't send it on WhatsApp to your parents right away. Drop your phone, focus on your child, and when you're away from your child, then you send the picture. You should minimize the amount of time that you spend on your phone next to your child, even if your child is not looking at the screen. And rule number 4 is, say, an ergonomic rule. The ergonomic rule states that you have to adapt the environment to your vision. I know, for example, a family that has put all the phone chargers on the ground floor so that the phones may not go upstairs where the bedrooms are. And therefore, the parents hear the phones ring, with WhatsApp and messaging, etc. in the evening when the children are in bed, which means that the friends of the children are still texting when it's 11 p.m. or midnight. But as the phones are downstairs, they know that their children aren't doing the same. And I think this is really super important that you think of your environment and your organization so that both support the rules that you have defined. And let's be clear, there's probably a 5th rule, which is that, being consistent is super difficult, but it's the price to pay for your child to be healthy. And I think that this price cannot be too big.